Oh, hey, live. Yeah. Sorry, it always takes me off guard, even though I'm the one that pushes the button. Hey, welcome. Feelings with the Geekiary. I'm Erin. I'm here with admin Angel and Jamie. We're fans. We have feelings, and this is where we webcast about them. Happy 8th anniversary to Geekiary. We are here for our anniversary special today.
Technically, our anniversary was 10 days ago, but this was the first time we could all get together closest to it, so this counts. So you can join our conversation in one of two ways. If you're on Twitter, you can use the hashtag GeekiaryFeelings, or since we're on YouTube, you can just comment down below and we can see your comments as we're doing this. So, talk to us and we'll talk back. Yeah.
Yo, we'll talk back.
I'm cranky, so maybe nobody should want me talking back to them. Like, they should just.
We would like to remind all of you that the views expressed on this webcast are those of the hosts as individuals and do not necessarily represent the Geekiary or the webcast itself as a whole. It's been a while since I screwed that up.
Also, incredibly relevant when I'm cranky. My crankiness should not negatively reflect on the Geekiary.
All right, well, I'm tired, guys. Okay.
We're a great group.
Yeah, it's fine. Hey, don't forget about our Patreon. So we've got some of the updated perks and everything. So check out patreon.com/thegeekiary, and you can give us the money and get things back in return. Yeah. And yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say at just $5 a month, you can get access to our blog where we've started posting a lot of behind the scenes stuff like tips and advice and little stories that you don't get on the main blog. So $5 a month.
Excellent. Yes. Also, don't forget to check out the rest of our YouTube channel. There's some good stuff out there. And, funny little story, because you know how I love Fareed's reaction video to the Cats trailer from like a million years ago. Yeah. So because he said that the cats look like lemurs, and for some reason that just like killed me. And so I just moved to Orlando, and I was like scrolling through events just to kind of see what, they're like. I'm not going to go out and do stuff. I just am like, I want to see what let's see what's going on. And there was like lemur yoga, and like you do yoga and lemurs are just there like bounding on top of you and stuff. And I'm like, this reminds me of the Cats trailer video. Like literally, that's where my mind went. So anyway, sorry about that dumb story, but I thought it was funny.
It's great.
Also, be sure to check out the Geekiary's news sections. We have some news that maybe we want to
talk about. So one thing I wrote about recently was that Disneyland, the last theme park that remains closed, the last Disney theme park that remains closed, can start opening again as of April 1st, but probably won't open on April 1st, but they can. So how they're doing it is by county. If they go down into the red as opposed to the purple, which I forget the name of the tiers, but it's like purple, red, orange, yellow. So like the second from the top. If they go down into the red instead, they can open at 15% capacity. Right now, though, Orange County, which is where Disneyland is located, is still purple. So they have like 2 weeks to get down to that for Disneyland to open. I don't think that's going to happen. But point being, if they somehow miraculously pull that off, Disneyland is allowed to open as of April 1st.
That's really good. And 15% is not a lot of people.
Yeah, you know me. I've been very critical of a lot of reopening strategies, but I like how Disneyland is doing it. 15 people is a very light crowd. Like, it is a vacant theme park. And I'm sure they're going to have all the same precautions in place which Disney World has. And I think Disney World opened too soon. But I do appreciate the precautions. So if you take those, like the small capacity and all the, regulations, and the fact that we're rapidly getting close to like everyone being vaccinated, like we're at something like 12% or something, which is pretty good. I'm actually okay with this for a change, like, which you wouldn't expect from me, because I've been like, no, it's too soon at pretty much everything.
Yep.
Well, I was at Magic Kingdom last week. I was there on Wednesday, a couple days ago. And it was horrifically busy. And I left after lunch because I was like, there are way too many people here. And I apparently, and I didn't know this because, well, the way Disney World is doing it is they have a reservation system still in place where you have to like make a reservation for the park that you're going to. And apparently the day that I had chosen, which I made my reservation like a few weeks ago, and Magic Kingdom like sold out of reservations. But I didn't know that till I showed up there, and there were like 300 cars trying to get into the parking lot. And I was like, this is too many people for me. I really am unhappy. And I rode 2 rides. And Pirates of the Caribbean, 65 minutes I waited in that line. And that is a ride that's usually has no wait.
Yeah, I'm going to say, like, even at normal capacity, that is not a ride that I've ever waited 65 minutes for.
Right. Yeah, it was horrible. And so then I went and ate lunch, and then I left.
Yeah.
So
I don't think Disney World's doing it remotely correctly, but like I think that's a Florida issue. But hey, you're gonna help fix that because you're +1 Democrat vote in Florida. Help turn that state blue, please, because the governor is at fault for this.
Florida's
so
weird.
I know.
I've lived here for 2 months now, and
I'm really glad you're there though, because if I want to go to Disney World.
Yeah,
you would have a couch.
It's actually a sofa sleeper, so it's more than just a couch. It's actually a bed and a couch. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I actually think I know you and I have different perspectives on this, but I actually have felt relatively safe at Disney World until Wednesday. And I really think that a lot of that is spring break crowd, and it's starting, and it was horrible, and I hated it, and I won't be going. I actually do have an Epcot reservation in a couple weeks. Anyway, I won't be going back to, like, I literally said, I was like, I'm not going back to Magic Kingdom for a very long time unless there's a really good reason to. It's just busy all the time.
Yeah.
And clearly the COVID measures are not impactful in that park anymore, so I'm just not going.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Anyway, that was a nice little rant. Do we have any other news to discuss?
Not that I wrote about, but there was a new Fruits Basket trailer for season 3, which I'm very excited about. I don't think you guys watch Fruits Basket, but I love Fruits Basket, and that's the final season. Season 3 is the last season. Starts in April. And this is like, I mean, Fruits Basket is like a weird thing, but it was like season 3 is like when shit goes down. Like, this is like, if you haven't started Fruits Basket yet, like, you have like 2 or 3 weeks to catch up. Because it's awesome.
I just couldn't get into it. I don't know why. But I mean, it's very popular, so clearly it's pretty quality.
Yeah, well, because it's weird. Like, this is one of those anime that I was like, it really takes a turn. Like, because it was like the first like half of season 1, I think, is really like cutesy, like blah blah blah, and then it takes a turn, and you're just like, wow, there's like child shit here.
See, I don't even know what the turn is, because when I watched it, and I watched the old one, like the beginning of the 2000s, I'm not sure if this is a remake. Is that a cat behind you, or
yes,
what
that's
is
my cat.
happening? Okay. It's just suddenly like black blob like behind your head. But anyway, I watched the old Fruits Basket like in the 2000s, early 2000s. And I watched like 4 or 5 episodes, and it was all cutesy, fluffy, and
yeah, it doesn't stay that way. Like it gets pretty. I don't want to say dark, but it is kind of dark. But yeah, so the
like what is that one magical girl, a Madoka Magica, like how that dark or not that
so I don't know.
Oh man,
like people don't die, like nobody. Okay. Well, that's not true. I mean,
like
characters,
everybody in Madoka dies.
Yeah, no, it's more like it's really about like a cycle of abuse sort of, and like the family like trying to escape the cycle of abuse essentially. So it's like it's a focus on that more and that. But
Madoka is like the dark side of being a magical girl superhero like thing, and like you, in order to get a wish, you basically give your life to be a magical girl, and then it like I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know the technicalities, but it like turns you into a witch at some point, which is what they're constantly fighting. So basically they're fighting former magical girls and don't know it. It's dark. Anime, man.
Okay.
Get dark.
But yeah,
Fruit basket. All right. I have one more piece of news that nobody cares except me, and it's going to be the only time I mention BTS tonight. The Grammys are tomorrow, so I really want BTS to win their Grammy because it's their first nomination, and they're also performing. So there's going to be lots of new armies tomorrow after the Grammys. That's exciting for me. So anyway, let's move on then. Hey, it is the anniversary special, so I thought it would be good. It wasn't me. We thought it would be good to go back through the past 8 years and kind of talk about some of our highlights. I think for the three of us, especially, San Diego Comic-Con is probably the overarching memorable thing from the blog. So let's start with SDCC. So do we have any memorable moments or highlights from San Diego Comic-Con?
No, none. Absolutely.
No.
Forgettable.
No.
Forgettable experience. That's why I go every year, because it's just so boring. And
Do you want to start, Jamie? Or
oh yeah, sure, I can. Well, first of all, like I actually came to the Geekiary because of San Diego Comic-Con, because we're all on a message board for people that go to comic convention, and I joined a line group to do the overnight shift we were camping out for Ballroom 20, and my line partner was Angel. So that's how we met. And then I was writing for a different blog at the time, and they let me go about like a month after Comic-Con. And so when that happened, like Angel contacted me and she was like, "Do you want to write for the Geekiary?" And I was like, "All right." So that's what I did. Yeah. But that's the only time I've ever line camped for anything. Because for me, it was basically like I have done it once. I never need to do it again. Especially because I was like, Ballroom 20, it was like Thursday, Ballroom 20, not usually a day you have to camp. But we were in the front row, which was awesome. I was there specifically because like Teen Wolf, which was like the second to last panel of the day or something. So we were there all day. Nice.
And I was there for Hannibal.
Which was the panel after that, right? Yeah. So that was like a nice full day of us having people come up to us at the end of every panel being like, "Are you guys leaving?" And we're like, "No, get out of here. this is not
we're here all day. Like we're not moving.
And I remember complaining about people that don't understand panel etiquette. Like, no, you don't ask people. That's not how this works. Like the people behind us, we told the people behind us when like everybody around us would be like, we're leaving after the next panel, so shift over. Like, but obviously that one. And that was only my second time at Comic-Con too. Yeah, so I wasn't technically with the Geekiary yet, but it's associated because that's how I came into the blog. And then obviously like the NBC party, like that was so much fun. 2019, because we didn't go last year. And I would be like, oh, last year, so we didn't go last year.
It was like a lifetime ago.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. And then in a bad way for me is the disastrous Jeff Davis roundtable interview where I didn't even say anything, but he recognized the name of the blog and just started like ranting about Fareed because Fareed is one of the only people reviewing Teen Wolf that like didn't think it was like the greatest show ever. Because at that point in time, it was not. I mean, it was never the greatest show ever, but it was at least fun in the beginning.
Yeah. And then it started to think that it was the greatest show ever, and it got all up its own ass and just went downhill. Yeah,
I agree. But that was one of the reasons I was like, specifically with Jeff Davis, I was like, I'm not saying anything. Because I wasn't even watching the show at that point. I'm like, I'm just going to sit here and let other people ask their questions because I don't watch the show and I don't care. But no, and that actually... Go ahead.
We took like a screenshot of Jeff Davis like, tell Fareed to say hello. And he's like staring at the camera. It's like, oh my God. This is frightening.
By the way, I remain like forever. I mean, I'm a very bitter person, but I was like, I love that he hasn't like done anything. Just really makes me happy. Sorry.
Views expressed on this webcast are those of us as individuals. Anyway, I have a lot of mine are the same as yours. Line camping and meeting you. I also went to the NBC party, but several years before you, and got to hang out with the cast of Hannibal, which was super awesome. NBC party is just fantastic. But my two biggest memories both involve Hall H, which is the big hall, for those of you that don't know. It has like 7,000 people in it. And one of them was I was camping there for the Marvel panel, but I also got a wristband to get Legion autographs the same day. And so I broke some rules. Sorry for any Comic-Con International people that are watching this, but I got a bathroom pass, which I didn't even know they had for Hall H because there's bathrooms in the hall, but apparently they do. And it's only good for that one panel. So I got a bathroom pass, ran onto the exhibit floor, got Aubrey Plaza and the whole cast of Legion's autograph, and then ran back with like 3 minutes to spare and got back into Hall H and got back in my seat. It was absolute madness. You're not supposed to do that. Sorry.
I don't know how you did that.
It was.
I know it would take me like the whole hour just to cross the exhibit hall. Like,
right.
Yeah, and then I had to wait in line for the autographs, and I wasn't first in line, so I had to wait. And I had 1 hour to do this, and I did it in like 57 minutes. It's just. The other Hall H experience was turning 30 years old in Hall H. So I camped out all night, midnight, sleeping on the concrete, 30th birthday. But it was the year where Marvel introduced who was going to be playing Carol Danvers. Like, Brie Larson was there. It was the year where they showed us the clip from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Yondu and like Rocket like shooting up everything. And Benedict Cumberbatch, and there was like a laser show in Hall H to like introduce the first things we would see of Doctor Strange, and like all of this was on my 30th birthday, very memorable. And then that night, Tara, God, I just keep confessing to like crimes on this episode, but Tara bribed us into a private party. Like, she straight up, like, bribed the security guard and, like, got us into a private party and continued partying for my 30th birthday. So it was pretty great.
Do not condone any illegal behavior.
Yeah, I guess, like, my most memorable moments are me breaking rules. Sorry.
Isn't that
Geekiary
what life
does not
is, man? Come on.
Especially at Comic-Con. There are no rules.
Sorry. But yeah, those are my most memorable moments.
Well, I didn't put anything down, but don't think I don't have any. Yeah, I also met Angel at Comic-Con in 2014 at HopCon.
Yeah.
We drank a lot of beer.
We did. And we continue to do so.
I will talk about what happened later, but I heard something. But yeah, probably some of my most memorable moments were definitely the Jared Padalecki story. I mean, that was hilarious. And then, which I'm not going to say again because I've already said it like a million times. Just go back and watch old episodes. It's fine. Oh gosh, just like I think all the nightlife, and I met one of my best friends there, and now we like do vacations outside of Comic-Con. Well, not like right now, but yeah. And all the press rooms have been really great. Like getting to know some of the other reporters from other websites has been really great too. And just kind of building those relationships, very fun. And who can forget 2015 San Diego Comic-Con when we had like 5 people there from the Geekiary, and that was a lot. And yeah, so that's the year I fell off the bar stool. Yeah, so Jamie, you've got some New York Comic-Con memories, and you're kind of the only one that really goes to that one. So let's hear it.
Yeah, there were more New York people, but they don't write for Geekiary anymore. So I am pretty much the sole New York Comic-Con person, which is fun. It's exhausting, but so my highlight for New York Comic-Con specific is definitely my interview with Breckin Meyer from the Robot Chicken press room.
My favorite.
That is one of my favorite interviews probably ever, because there's really no interview. It's him like making fun of me for like 2 minutes. But it's fine.
And then who was it that he said?
Rashida Jones. Fuck
Rashida Jones.
Yes, that is great. So that one, and I don't have it on the doc, and I can't believe I forgot about it. But I got to I was in the this will be relevant later. I did the Humans press room, and got to interview Colin Morgan, and I love Colin Morgan. Like the first time I ever went to Comic-Con, to San Diego Comic-Con, was specifically because it was the last year of Merlin, and I was like, if I don't go and see them, I'm never going to get to see them. So yeah, I was like, I should Colin Morgan. So that was like a very big day for me, and it was like, and I got to meet Gemma Chan too, and I didn't know her from anything other than Humans, but now I'm like, oh my god, Gemma Chan, because she's in like everything now. So that was really great, and it's kind of hard. It's like I feel bad because I was like, this is all like me, like alone. I did this alone, but yeah, there was a lot of stuff at Comic-Con, and I was like, I try to do as much as I can because I'm the only person there representing the Geekiary. But the press rooms are usually my favorite part of New York Comic-Con. So that's yes. Unfortunately, I couldn't video the Colin Morgan. Did I? No, I couldn't. Sorry.
Okay.
That one we were not allowed to take.
Interesting.
I had really great. Yeah.
What's the point of a press room if you can't do video.
Happens more than you think.
Audio, yeah. It really depends, because I was like, I know, like, when I, like, that, oh, and, I mean, I also did the Black Sails press room one year, and I don't even watch Black Sails, even though I keep meaning to, because I know it's awesome, but, like, Tom Hopper's in Black Sails, so I got to interview him. I'm trying to work my way through the Merlin cast, like, one random show at a time.
Who's left on your list of Merlin cast?
Like, a lot of people, actually, because I was like, I've interviewed Colin, I've interviewed Katie McGrath, because she's on Supergirl, and Tom Hopper, and I was supposed to get Owen Mack in, because he was in a sci-fi show a couple of years ago, but he didn't make it to my table. So, but then I literally have everybody else. So I was like, Bradley James, be in another show that comes to Comic-Con. I really wish I'd been there like the year he did Damien. And but yeah, Tom Hopper, he is very tall. Like, he is very big in real life. I just wanted to put that out there in case you don't realize how tall Tom Hopper is. He is very tall. Okay, those are them. That's New York Comic Con. And then I had other stuff on the list, so I don't know if anybody has any non-convention related ones they wanted to, before I jump in. And
well, I got the blog stuff later down on the list, so by all means continue with your events.
Yeah, because I was like, I mean, most of this stuff is conventions, but I have gotten into a couple other, like, neat things. Like, when American Gods was coming out with season 1, they had a press day in New York, and that was, like, amazing, because it was basically like I had to take the day off work, because it was, like, all day. Like, I had to be there at, like, 8 in the morning or something like that. And they gave us breakfast, and then we had, like, 3 hours of interviews, and then they gave us lunch. And then we had, like, another couple hours of interviews, and then they were like, oh, like, please help yourself to these snacks. And it was, like, mini quesadillas and, like, handmade chocolate covered. And I was like, this is amazing. Stars, please invite me to, like, more stuff. Because we also got, like, a swag bag. Like, it was a tote bag, branded tote bag, and a t-shirt. And a copy of the book with the, like, TV cover, you know, because I already have the book, but this was, like, the TV version cover. That might have been it, but that was still, like, I was like, yeah, give me free stuff, yeah, man. And that was just a really great day in general. And my articles from that, like, Neil Gaiman retweeted them, so that was, like, huge. So, like, there was that day, because that was just, like, and that's one of my favorite, like, non-convention experiences, because it sort of felt like a convention, because I was just interviewing all day. And then my other one is the getting invited to the Bakugan weekend a couple of years, like, well, I guess a year and a half ago. Because that was, like, unlike anything I've ever gotten to do, because they paid for my travel, they paid for my hotel, they paid for my food, like, the whole weekend. Like, that was just, like, so much fun. And I knew nothing about Bakugan when I went. So I was, like, learning on the fly, and, like, everybody, like, all of the, like, YouTube people that were there were, like, super nice, and they were, like, teaching me about it and everything. So that was just, like, a really great, like, experience, because, you know, we're a smaller blog. We don't usually get invited to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was, like, I was like, yes.
That is pretty great. Weekend. I kept, when they invited us, I kept expecting there to be, like, a catch to it, like, all expenses paid, asterisks, and, like, some sort of, but no, like, they just paid your whole way there.
Seriously, they even paid, like, Uber for me to Uber to and from the airport.
That's amazing.
Except when I went, I was afraid that the Uber code wasn't going to work, like, when I was flying out there, so I took public transit. But on my way back, I got to Uber, so. Which was nice, because it takes me, like, 2.5 hours to get to the airport, even though it's in my city. Like, I was like, there's 2 airports, and they're, like, 13, 14 miles away from here. 2 hours.
Highlights from the blog?
Yeah, highlights from the blog. I'll go first since I'm first on the list. Yeah. So for me, I think one of my proudest things, because I have a tendency to fall off of a lot of stuff, I actually reviewed the entire series of iZombie. 4 seasons. Yes. So that's the only show I reviewed from start to finish. And well, I think, yeah. And so that was good. And it's such a good show, and I miss it. And the press rooms were so great. And I wish it had gone on forever. But then it wouldn't be as good as it is, right? I also thought of another thing, too, which is I got to interview Emmanuel Lavoisier and Paul Amos for Lost Girl back in 2015, I think, at C2E2. And my interview was on the DVD. So
that's cool.
I've not seen it, but
the Lost Girl DVD or the C2E or C2E2 DVD?
The what?
Well, like the Lost Girl DVD?
Yeah.
Or like okay.
Yeah, I think so. I haven't watched it. I should probably check it out sometime. But they like brought a camera person and everything to the interview, and I was like, what's happening? And they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna film this for the DVD. I was like, thanks for letting me know ahead of time. Because that was like my first big interview at the Geekiary, and so I was like, this is a lot of pressure. But it was really fun, and they were great. And so I'm trying to think if I have any other highlights. Like, it's been so great. Like I've gotten a chance to review so many shows, and a couple films and stuff. It's been a lot of fun. So yeah, let's keep going. Somebody else.
Maybe I should go.
Yeah.
Okay.
the Jamie talking.
So I have 2. Mine also has to deal with Neil Gaiman tweeting out an article. I wrote an article. I think it was called something like 10 Reasons You Should Watch Good Omens. And it was before it came out. So it was like things like about the book and about what I was expecting and about the fandom that already existed. And he tweeted out the link and said it was amusing. And some people might think that sounds insulting, but I was just really glad that I amused like someone who had provided me such entertainment for so long. So like I was really happy to have amused Neil Gaiman. Like,
mutual amusement. Yeah.
So and I also like, it's a side of, because what our website does is do things from a fandom perspective. So this was an article that wasn't like something you would read on Variety. That's very like mainstream views of like media. It was very like, I talked about shipping. I talked about like, fan art and fanfic, and like that's not usually stuff that creators are interested in interacting with, but he just tweeted it out and said he was amused by it. It's really cool. The other articles that that are highlights for me is all the ones I do for San Diego Comic-Con that are like how-tos. Like I am constantly revising them. Like I have how to pick a hotel and like how to do the drawing, and like whenever it changes throughout the year, I go back and I edit pieces in, like because Comic-Con loves to change things. And I have them for hotels, badges, Hall H. I feel like I've done a couple other ones as well. But like, it's really fun to go back and update these and be able to send these links to people when they're like, what? How does Hall H line work? And be like, here's this link. So that's a big highlight for me just because of how intensive it is. I like doing that.
Okay, back to me. It's been a while since I've talked. So yeah, I have so many like articles of mine that I could point out. But the main one I want to highlight is that like, okay, so in 2015, my friends and I went to Florida. My parents live in Florida. We were going down to visit, and we went to the Wizarding World. Neither of my friends had ever been, and I'd only been to the Hogsmeade part in Islands of Adventure. And so we bought the 1 day 2 park pass so that we could take the Hogwarts Express and all that kind of stuff. And so when I got back, I wrote an article that was basically just like comparing the two, and it was just like some stupid article, whatever, where I'm just like, oh, like blah blah blah. That is consistently one of our like top 10 viewed articles, and I don't understand why. But thank you everybody for like continuing this, like viewing this 5-year-old article that's probably not even relevant anymore. I don't know if they've added or taken away anything, because that's the like I haven't been back in years. But yes, so the Hogsmeade versus Diagon Alley Wizarding World article, a lot of views on that one. And my other one is I'm actually blurbed on a DVD. So I reviewed the movie Undrafted. Tyler Hoechlin's in it, which is what I thought. And yeah, so I was like, I reviewed it, and I'm blurbed on the DVD. Like, there we are, Geekiary.
That's amazing.
So,
oh, I love it. I wonder if anyone ever Googles that to try to figure out like who is the Geekiary? What?
Somebody in the movie had tweeted the review too. I can't remember who it was though.
That's super cool.
I was like, yeah, that was cool.
Well, Jamie, I'm going to dig up that article because I recently purchased a Universal Annual Pass, and I haven't gone yet, yeah, but I will soon. And I'm going to go to your article, and I'm going to be like, is this still relevant? It probably is. I don't think much has changed, really.
I think it has to be linked somewhere, and that's why it keeps getting it. Like, so.
Maybe. Back in, was it 2018 or 2019, we started our actual theme park section, which was several years after you wrote your article. But you know, now that you're in Florida, and we have a whole section of the website you can contribute to.
I want to. It's a weird time right now.
I know. Not now.
Yeah, it's like I can't even get a Disney World annual pass. It's stupid. Like they're just not selling them right now. So I, can't go every day like I want to, but shouldn't, but whatever, it's fine. I have one more highlight from the blog that I want to mention, and that is this webcast, Feelings with the Geekiary. We started this 6 years ago, and it's crazy, a long time. It was a lot of fun. We've had lots of different people on it throughout the years, lots of Geekiary staff, other people, special guests. We've had some celebrities on here. Shocking. It's been fun. So it's always a good time. And we're shockingly, I don't know. I don't even know what I was going to say.
We're just shocking.
It's shockingly improvised, I guess is what I should say. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in there too, because that's been, at least for me, a big part of my tenure or whatever at the Geekiary has been this webcast. So that's a big thing for me. Anyway, any other things? Any other highlights? I mean, 8 years. I think there's just been too much.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick things out.
Yeah, it really is, because everything that I write about is something that I obviously care about. So trying to pick a favorite is hard. Like right now, I'm very hyper focused on this Chinese like media, the Donghua stuff, and that's my current favorite. But like it's been 8 years of things that I'm just so passionate about. How do you choose? So
yeah, like super passionate. Not you specifically, but all of us. Yeah, like
that's our slogan. We have feelings.
And that's actually that's one of the things I love about writing for the Geekiary is because it's like we're not, you don't make us write about stuff we don't care about. Like, it's not like, oh, you have to put out this many articles with this many words. And it's like, because I know there's other places where it's like you get like assigned like a show to write about or something. I'm like, no. So I was like, I really like that. It was like, it's basically just like, what are you passionate about right now? Like, what are you liking? Mm-hmm. Or alternately, like,
what are you hating?
What's pissing you off? Like,
feelings can go both ways, So like I don't want clinical type of writing. Like I want everything that goes on the website to have feelings behind it. So so far so good.
Yeah. And I think a lot of our readers and fans kind of appreciate that. It's a different kind of blog, it's entertainment and news, but it's definitely a different perspective.
Yeah, and
a lot of what you read.
And that's the whole goal, and that's why, like, going back to the Neil Gaiman thing, him being amused is because probably that type of perspective doesn't get written about a lot in a lot of places. Like, there's very few places that are bigger names anyway, like not Tumblr or something, where people openly talk about fan fiction and shipping right next to an interview with, a director. Like, and those two articles are side by side. And like, we interview people who do fan works. We interview people that do mainstream media. We can rant about something 1 minute and then just have an article with us screaming about how much we love something the next. Like,
sometimes it's the same thing.
Sometimes it's the same thing. But like, I've noticed Vox has started to talk more about fandom, and they keep linking to us. And I think there's one writer I know is a mutual of mine on Twitter, so I think she might have seen me talking about. I was talking about that AO3 fic with like the 4,000 tags, and so she probably saw me talking about it a lot and linked to me. But the other one, I don't know how she found my work at all. But we're Vox's source that they cite whenever it comes to like weird fandom shit, and I'm kind of like that. Like, thanks, Vox. Like, that's great.
Thanks for the recognition. I had a friend text me the Vox article about the Sexy Times with Wang Jian. She's like, you guys are quoted in this. It's like, yeah, we're aware of that. Thank you.
I know, a friend of mine sent me this, and they're like, look, mainstream media is talking about this fic. And then 5 minutes later, she's like, and you're quoted in it. Yeah. Yes, great. Thanks, Fox.
And we still get excited about stuff like this, so yeah. Yeah, so I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about before we move on to other things? I mean, it's hard.
I know.
Let's just move on then and talk about like current things then. So let's do some recommendations. Always fun time.
Do you want to go first, Jamie, or should I?
I can. Okay. So since the last webcast that we did, I've been rewatching stuff that I watched before because there were a couple of series that I like started and never finished. And I don't know what I was thinking, that I was just like, I should finish those. Finally, like 4 years later or whatever. So the first one that I did was Human. I mentioned that before because I only ever saw season 1. And there were 3 seasons. and my ship goes canon in season 3, and I knew that because I saw the gift sets on Tumblr. But I never watched it, so I think I finally actually sat down and watched the whole thing. That was like a weekend where I'm like, okay, human. And then the next thing I watched was The Fall, which Colin Morgan is also in, if you're sensing a thread here. That was another one that I watched. Like, I saw the first 2 seasons, and I never saw the 3rd season. So I finished that.
I'm gonna jump in really quick and second that recommendation for The Fall. That is not a show for everyone. It's very dark. It's very intense, but it is very good. Like, one of the best, probably best made shows ever.
Yeah.
Like,
what's
so
it
good.
about? What's it about? Oh,
Just really like.
it's right up my alley.
Yes, Gillian Anderson is in it too, so it's just like
Serial killers and Gillian Anderson.
So basically, yeah. So like, I actually wrote a recommendation on. I saw it on Prime, Amazon Prime. That's where I watched it. Yeah, I actually wrote a recommendation. That was one of the first articles that I wrote for Geekiary. But it's basically like Gillian Anderson is a London detective. She's brought up to Belfast because they have a killer. The daughter of like the police chief or something is murdered, and they can't figure out who did it. So like they have to bring in her, and then she discovers that there was another murder like a month or so before that that is linked. And she has to try to convince them that it's the same person, and then they go from there. So it's basically like the first season is trying to figure out who the killer is. The second season is trying to catch the killer, and then the third season is trying to convict the killer. So it's like it's basically like the whole arc of the crime. And I know that he's an actor and like this is his job, but like that show ruined Jamie Dornan for me. I cannot watch him in anything else.
For me, Jamie Dornan, like that was the show that showed me that Jamie Dornan can actually act, because like in some of his other projects, he's very like not that great. I mean,
what else is he in?
Comparatively,
he was on Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, I didn't watch that either. I probably don't.
50 Shades. 50 Shades of Grey.
I mean,
I haven't seen that, but he's the main character guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I can imagine him.
Yeah, he's really good in that. So, but it's dark, man. It's dark. It's hard to watch sometimes.
That is definitely a show that I was like, I have to watch this during daylight hours because I live alone and like I don't.
Okay, so I have a show, sorry to interrupt, but when it comes to things that are dark, I have a standard what was that show called? Devilman Crybaby. It was this anime that I watched in about 2 days. It was like 13 episodes in 2 days where I just did nothing but sit there all day and watch it for an entire weekend, and it felt like a punch to my chest. Like I couldn't breathe after watching it. So whenever someone says something is dark, I'm like, worse than Devilman Crybaby? It's hard. Like that's my limit now. That's the darkest I've ever gone. And if it's lighter than that, I can probably handle it.
For me, I think The Fall is one of the darkest shows I've ever watched. So
it's pretty. Yeah, because they really get into like, because it's like it's not one of those where like the audience knows like immediately who the killer is. But the cops don't. So the first season is the cops trying to figure out who it is. But you're also watching him like commit the crimes and all that kind of stuff. And you get like they get really into like his psyche and like why he does it and all that kind of stuff. Season 3 in particular is pretty like, wow, I need a palate cleanser after watching this show. But yeah.
And see, a lot of people told me Attack on Titan was like the darkest anime out there, and so far I have yet to like feel like I've been punched in the chest by it.
It's the darkest anime I watch, but I'm not a person that goes for like dark stuff. So
don't watch Devilman Crybaby because it.
I mean, it sounds just the name sounds pretty.
Yeah.
So
That's okay. I was like, I will take your word for it. Thank you very much.
Don't.
But yeah, so the fall, and it's only like, it's only like 16 episodes or something like that, because it was like season 1. I think it's 18. So it's six.
It's British, right? It's from the UK.
Yeah.
So they have short seasons for some reason. Like their seasons are incredibly short.
Yeah.
Sherlock seasons were 3 episodes each. Like
yeah,
that's
but they
not
were
a
also
season.
like they were longer episodes too. Like they were like an hour and a half episodes. I think it depends on the length of the show. Like the fall episodes are like an hour, so they have 6 episodes. But Colin Morgan shows up halfway through season 2. In case anybody isn't.
I forgot he was in that. But I mean, it takes place in Northern Ireland, so you see all these Northern Ireland.
He uses his real accent, yeah.
So, yeah.
He doesn't usually get to use his real accent. But yeah, so the fall, like that was something that I watched, and then I actually had finished the show, but I rewatched it. It's Primeval. If you haven't seen it, it is bonkers, but I love it so much. For like one specific reason.
Is Colin Morgan in this one?
No, he is not.
Okay.
But
Just wondering.
But it is one of the actors. But it's also dinosaurs. I'm a big dinosaur person, and Primeval is super, super ridiculous. Like the whole premise is just like, hey, one day, like, there's a hole in time and like a dinosaur comes through into like modern day. And that's the premise of the show, is people trying to be like, hey, like a saber-toothed tiger is now like rampaging through an amusement park. That is all on Hulu if anybody wants to watch it. It's 5 seasons, but it was only like 30.
Which Merlin actor is in it?
No Merlin actors are in it.
Oh, okay.
It is Andrew Lee Pott.
Okay.
Some of you might recognize him from my next recommendation, which is the sci-fi miniseries for Alice in Wonderland. Alice. He played Hatter. So, yes. But yeah, no, that's specifically why. He plays Connor, and Connor's like the geeky, like bumbling, like sidekicky kind of one. But he's one of the few characters that's actually there through the whole show. And he gets a very good, I think, like character arc. He's also adorable. So yeah. And then Alice. Alice, unfortunately, is not streaming anywhere. But since we're talking about rule breaking, stole the TV from Netflix. So I have it on DVD. So that's thankful. Because I was immediately like, after Primeval, I was like, oh god, I have to watch Alice. And it wasn't streaming anywhere, so I had to bring out my DVD.
Geekiary 8th anniversary. We're all committing crimes.
Look, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of sacrifice to give you good programming. Sometimes, yeah.
But I was like, I'd forgotten how much I really liked the Alice miniseries, and I miss sci-fi doing stuff like that, because they had Alice and then they had the Tin Man, and then they never did that again.
Sci-fi has gone a very weird direction, and I miss old sci-fi. I miss like Battlestar Galactica era sci-fi, you know, and like they did used to have really good miniseries as well, and I used to review them, but slowly we stopped doing that because they've stopped having them. Like,
yeah, like they didn't even keep the Expanse. Like, what are you doing?
Right. Yeah, they have that real good record of canceling a good show after 2 seasons.
Currently drinking out of a Sci-Fi Channel water bottle that they gave me at San Diego Comic-Con, like 2019. I think. So,
Sci-Fi is always for
anybody that goes to New York
Comic-Con. Sci-Fi always has the best swag.
They had. Sci-Fi's good at cons. Their programming might have taken a dip, but their convention presence is still top notch. Like they do all sorts of incredible stuff at Comic-Con. Like I won an award from them. Like, so maybe I shouldn't shit talk them so much. They gave me an award. They gave me this little medal for writing fan fiction while I was on the way to Comic-Con. They thought that was award worthy, I guess. It's cool. But yeah, there's a gulf between their convention presence and their content. Is it my turn?
Yes, I'm done.
Yeah, go ahead.
That was
Okay.
What?
So there's a theme with mine too, my 2 recommendations. And they're kind of linked together in an unusual way. So I was on YouTube, like I was sick and looking for stuff to watch on YouTube, and I got recommended this video about like that airplane crash in the Andes, like, you know, where they had to eat each other. Like, it was really more of a topic, but the video was so cool, I decided to go look at the person's other stuff, and she has a channel called Ask a Mortician. And so I've just been binging her videos. Like sometimes they're historical stuff, like the crash in the Andes, and sometimes there's stuff about like being a mortician and like dead bodies and like frequently asked questions about that. Today she did a mukbang where it was like death food. Like, so it was like all these different foods that are important in death rituals around the world, and like it's a really fascinating channel. And what's really strange is she went to school at the college that I like grew up next to, so I have this weird personal connection to her. But while I was watching it, I kept wondering, has she ever watched the show 6 Feet Under? Because it's all about a family that lives in a funeral home. And so I just kept thinking about this, and I decided to start rewatching 6 Feet Under as well. So now my entire life is like about funeral homes right now. It's really weird. But I recommend this show 6 Feet Under, which is available to stream on HBO Max. The whole show is about death, clearly. But the show starts around Christmas. A family is coming together for Christmas, the family that lives in the funeral home, and their father unexpectedly dies. So there's this family whose entire life is revolved around like taking care of other people's deaths, like helping them, you know, with their funerals and helping them cope. And now they are the ones that are having to cope with the sudden loss. And so it's an incredibly well-written drama with one of the most satisfying like final episodes I've ever watched of any show ever. Like the payoff in the finale, nothing has compared since. Like, it's just incredible. So I highly recommend watching it, but it is all about death. So if you're maybe not in the mood for that, maybe it's not for you. But as soon as this is done, I'm going to go start watching more episodes of it.
I have a recommendation. I didn't put it on the doc because my life is insane right now, and I don't watch anything really ever, except for the occasional K-drama. So I will recommend my latest K-drama, which is the one I most recently watched is called Startup, and it's on Netflix, and it's really cute. And I've talked about it in my actual job, like in meetings, because it's about like businesses, and well, that's a subplot, you know, it's a K-drama, so there's actually like a love triangle and stuff. But yeah, it's really cute, and I don't like the phrase love triangle because it's usually just one person who has like 2 love interests. There's not really like the bottom line or whatever.
It's a love carrot.
Yeah. And like I'm usually pretty good at spotting like how a show is going to go, especially with like love triangles, because they're predictable. This one, I had no idea how it was going to end the entire time I was watching it. And so that actually made it very enjoyable, because I was like, how is she going to choose which dude to go for? Like, I love both of them. She loves both of them. How is this going to end? And obviously, my TV show experience has been much lighter than both of you lately. But I mean, like romantic comedies and stuff. It's never been really a genre that has been super attractive to me. But for some reason, like Korea knows how to do these really well. and they suck you in, and you're just like, who is she gonna choose? Oh my God. Like, I've never been this invested before. And I loved it. So watch Startup. It's really cute. Most K-dramas, again, are only one season, usually like 16 episodes. So you can get through them, like in a week or two. And, well, depending. And anyway, this one was particularly cute. And the OST, which is the soundtrack, was especially fun. So very good. That's the only thing I've watched since the last webcast. So cool. All right.
Oh, Humans is on Amazon Prime too. I didn't mention that. The UK version. Go
ahead, sorry. Oh yeah, I've only watched the first season also, so I may actually pick that up again since you've been talking about it, because now I want to watch it.
It gets really good, and then it bothers me. It's one of those where it was like they were clearly setting up like something for like a 4th season, and then it got canceled. So like it doesn't really have like, it kind of has an ending, but not really has an ending. Like, so bummer about that. But it was really good. That's the UK version though, which the US version had additional scenes, so, and I can't find them anywhere.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back. Okay. Anyway, let's go on to quarantined shout outs. Yes, we are still doing these because technically we are still in quarantine.
Yep.
So these again are positive things you've seen, random things to mention, related to this dumb pandemic that maybe we're starting to see kind of an end, and maybe just a little. I want to get
we're so close.
Let's just talk about the shout outs and not speculate on an ending. Okay.
So that was me. So mine is I'm actually getting my first shot on Monday. So yay! And then I also wanted to add that I was like shout out to Congress. I mean the Democrats in Congress.
Yeah.
For actually for passing finally the COVID relief bill they've been debating for like months. But it was passed and it was signed this week, and I saw on Twitter that some people have already gotten their money. So, yay!
Actually, they have a website this time around where you can go and check the status of your stimulus money, whatever. So you should check that out. I think it's called, I don't remember what it's called.
I checked a couple months ago. And I think it's the same website, but it's really easy. Like you put in your social security number and something else, I can't remember. And it shows you like the dates that they released the money to you. But apparently Wells Fargo is holding it for like a few days for some strange reason. So it might not match up exactly because Wells Fargo is being stupid.
Wells Fargo.
Yeah.
We also have the same look of at Wells Fargo. I'm excited for you to get your first shot though. Like that's so few of us on staff have been eligible yet. So
I'm supposed to start being eligible soon, but I kind of told you guys the story before the webcast started, but let me kind of mention it. So my state has like 1A, 1B, 1C, and then it's going group 2 and then group 3. 1C is supposed to be people with conditions that could put them at higher risk, which I was curious what that was. So back in like December or something, I literally like emailed the Department of Health and like, can I have a list of the conditions that are counted? And a condition that I have, which I'm not going to go into personal health information, but was on that list that they sent me in December. And then this morning, the governor's like, we're going to be moving into 1C. People with high risk conditions can get it. And I'm like, yay. And then he listed a few and my condition wasn't on there. And so I'm just like, did it change? Like,
I mean, if it's anything like the ones for New York, like it's a pretty extensive list. So I imagine he was probably just like highlighting a few.
Hopefully, like,
because unless he went through like 18, I'm sure that wasn't all of them that are covered. Because it's like hypertension, diabetes.
Yeah, he just said things like if you're on oxygen and dialysis or have like, and then he mentioned some lung condition, and it's like only through those 3 things, and I'm like, where's?
I mean, I imagine it's probably the same requirements, like just state to state, the same conditions. And I was like, it was a pretty long list.
So we'll see. I might be eligible soon. We'll see.
I will never be eligible because I live in Florida now, and Florida is dumb. Which is funny because one of my friends on Facebook, who lives back in Des Moines where I used to live, she went to the same doctor that I did, and she got her vaccine like last week because she was a patient of this particular doctor. And I'm like, so you're telling me that I could have my vaccine by now if I had stayed in Iowa, and now I'm in Florida and I will probably never get it because...
A funny thing. So here in my state, 1B has essential workers like that work the front line, if food places, grocery, etc. That's in 1B. Other people like healthcare workers were in 1A, so they were the first. But in Texas, people with conditions can already get the vaccine, whereas here you can't. And so me and my friend were talking, and we realized that they're eligible in my state and I'm eligible in their state, but so neither of us are eligible where we currently are. But so it's like, so we're joking like vaccine tourism, let's visit each other and get those jabs, but we're not going to do that because neither of us want to travel. But
yeah, New York is weird where it was like we're up to like pre-existing conditions, but it depends on where you go. Like if I think you have to go to one of the like government like vaccine like centers to get like the pre-existing conditions, because like a lot of the pharmacies do it, but only for like 65 and over.
We just started doing 65 and over this week. It was 70 and over was the first group, and now it's 65 and over. So
well, my mom got both doses, so that makes me happy.
My parents haven't gotten theirs yet.
Well, it's Florida, so.
I know, but it's like they're both in the age, like they're both over 65 and they both have pre-existing conditions, and they're like other people need it more. It's like, no, please get your vaccine.
No. I hate that. Do not use that argument. I mean, obviously you aren't. I'm not talking about either of you, but like in general, the argument other people need it more drives me crazy. We just
everybody needs it. Just go get vaccinated.
Get it. Like there was one where this nurse who had a case of them got trapped in a blizzard, so she just went car to car to all the people trapped in a blizzard, giving them vaccines. Like that's fantastic. What are you gonna do with them otherwise? Just get those in arms like immediately.
Well, and I've heard that too. Like sometimes you can just get lucky if you go to like Walgreens or something, because they have a lot of people that don't show up for their appointments, and then because the lifetime of the vaccine is so limited because of like the refrigeration and stuff, sometimes you can get lucky just by going and being like, do you have any extra vaccines today? I might do that. I don't know.
I can't remember the name of this thing, but there's a text message system you can sign up for. Well, they will text you if something like that is happening near you, and you have 15 minutes to respond to the text to claim a spot, and then 2 hours to get to the location. And it's basically for we have extra vaccines. I can't remember what it is though. Hold on. I have the text message, so I just need to find it. Hold on.
Because I work from home. Well, we all kind of work from home right now. But like, I never go anywhere. I could get anywhere in 2 hours, basically, sort of. Whatever. Unless traffic is bad, which I live in a place that has traffic now. It's not great.
Yeah. Man, I can't find it. If I find it, I will send it to you. But it's legitimately like they will just text you, and you just have to put in some information. I don't know where.
I will look myself also. So thank you, but I didn't know. because I don't do anything. I work and then that's it. So, what else do we have in this quarantine shout out category?
Is it time for Sushi Cat? Okay. So Sushi Cat are blind boxes where Cat is crying, "Why am I sushi?" And let me show you the ones I have already. I got that one. That one.
It's so ridiculous. Like, it's so funny.
This. I'm showing all of them because we've got time.
And they're just adorable, so who cares? Yeah.
And this one that has like a little ping pong ball on the head. And then this one. So here are my Sushi Cats. And now we are going to open a new Sushi Cat box. Let's find out what
Why
Sushi
am I
Cat.
sushi cry?
Why am I sushi? Okay, come on. This box does not want to open for some reason. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, this one is fancy as hell. This one has little star glasses and like
Oh wow.
silver. It's not.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
What's on it? What's it wearing, or like what's on its back?
Like a silver lanyard with little. I don't know what those are. Like candies on them, I guess. I don't know, but it's Sushi Cat. A garland like you would put on a Christmas tree, silver garland, and a little star. Yeah. Okay.
Is that stuff that goes on sushi? I'm not a sushi eater.
No, stuff that goes on a Christmas tree, like the garland.
No, I'm just saying. I was like, is that like
no?
Sushi is like, is that?
But you also don't put,
ping pong balls,
sushi,
ping pong balls, or whatever that is. Money on the cat. You don't put money on sushi, or little birdies.
You don't put money on sushi.
Got me there. Okay.
I don't put money on sushi. I don't eat sushi.
Sushi is delicious, but the most important thing is, why am I sushi? Why am I sushi?
I'm sorry, but that was just delightful. Like, what the hell? I don't even know.
Oh God, I love them.
Existential crisis every time you see one.
God, I have so many now. It's like it's a herd of cats.
It's brought so many of us so much joy just for being just weird. So, but cute, weird but cute. Yes. I don't have a question prepared, so we're skipping that. Unless you want to come up with something.
I got nothing.
I've never been good at coming up with the questions, so I normally skip it. Do we have any last minute thoughts? Again, I mean, thank you to everyone for 8 years, because it's been cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for everyone who entered our giveaway. We had 3 giveaways during the anniversary. So thanks to everybody that entered that. I think everything they're all finished. I mailed the last one yesterday. Spelled the guy's name wrong and feel very bad about that. Reading the email off of my phone, spelled his name wrong.
Oopsie doodles.
Okay. I don't know when we'll be back. Probably next month. Okay. So be sure to watch for our.
We need to have another watch. It's been a while since we watched something.
What would we watch?
Yeah, what should we watch?
I recommended Primeval 4 times in the Discord, but I'm sorry. It's just that's what I'm watching now.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
Sorry.
But there's a lot of because I was do we want to watch? Well, I mean, we don't have to sit here and try and figure it out now, but
no, I know, but it's fun to ponder for a few. Be like, what's fun? What is fun? I don't know.
I don't know. That's quite the philosophical question. What is fun?
What is?
I don't know. If you have any suggestions, you can let us know on Twitter or in the comments, and we'll be like, yes or no. We'll figure it out. All right. So I'm Erin, again, here with Admin Angel and Jamie. Thank you again for joining us for Feelings with the Geekiary, and of course, 8 years. Remember, we are a free webcast run off of donations from viewers like you and our patrons. Yay. Thanks for contributing to and helping our host site. I messed up. The Geekiary. Hey. And we'll see you next time, which watch for it. Okay. Bye.
Bye.